Welcome, Slayers, to another episode of Dark Times, Debriefed, your behind-the-scenes look at how the ultimate Brawler Royale is being built. These updates are based directly on the internal development logs. They're raw, unfiltered, and designed to give you a clearer view into what's happening during each sprint. Dark Times has been in development since 2022 in partnership with Blowfish Studios, a team with deep experience shipping high-quality games. This episode covers the 2-week sprint ending on Friday the 30th of May, 2025, and includes build versions 16.3 and 17.0. Starting with 3D art, the main focus this sprint was weapon hand placement and root motion cleanup. For the spear and two-handed weapons, we've added an event to toggle inverse kinematics. This lets us control whether characters follow animation curves precisely or react dynamically. Weapon alignment was also refined. Dual-hand weapons now point correctly from the right hand. Mammoth had no inverse kinematic system at all. That's now been resolved. And incorrect parenting and origin transforms on a few characters have been corrected, so weapons no longer appear to float or rotate off-center. The major win. This last inverse kinematics fix should finally correct the root motion issues seen in earlier builds. The main blocker? Some weapon origins are still baked inside the body mesh, and Mammoth's rig had to be rebuilt entirely to support IK. Game design focused on stamina drain during charged attacks. The current game design document didn't specify whether stamina should drain continuously while holding a charge, or only on release. That's now clarified. The behavior will be stamina draining only once the charged attack is released. The win here? We caught the gap in the GDD before it caused deeper implementation conflicts. The blocker? This fix still requires player freedom to be adjusted during the charge, and devs are still working on freeing that state. The lead developers spent this sprint focused on throw logic and recovery behavior. They swapped over network variables to improve throw reliability across server and client. Previously, player strength and possession flags weren't syncing, causing inconsistent throws. That's now resolved. Recovery states were also revisited. They fixed the exit behavior from throw into recovery and cleaned up the code path for getup. But fixing getup depends on knockdown, so they're untangling that flow now. Executions were also reintegrated. The previous code was conflicting with newer state logic. That merge has now been cleaned up. The major win: unreliable throw desyncs are now resolved. But the blocker remains. Knockdown must be stable before recovery can finish cleanly. Senior developer updates are next. Attack animations weren't playing consistently, especially when transitioning between movement and action states. We've narrowed that down to animation event timing and added checks to ensure player intent is registered before animation playback begins. Dazed animations were also failing. Once a player hit 0 stamina, a fallback animation was sometimes overriding the dazed pose. That conflict is now being resolved by reordering the trigger conditions. The pickup angle for dazed players was also broken. Characters would overshoot or miss the grab. That's being recalibrated. We also fixed a long-standing issue with dodge cancelling during charged attacks, and in Colosseum, a great axe was floating and spinning endlessly. That asset is now properly grounded. The win this sprint. Attacking behavior now feels much more consistent across all input states. The blocker? Attack animation events still don't fire reliably in all edge cases. That timing is still being tuned. The QA team had their hands full across both builds. In build 16.3, we saw major improvements, including successful fixes for the dazed animation, player not playing attack animations, barrel issues, and dodge transitions. However, cosmetic clipping is still unresolved. Notably, cosmetics fail to load correctly inside trials, but work in the test level. This suggests a scene dependency issue. We also noticed persistent visual artifacts during thrown states, but those weren't consistent enough to log as repro steps yet. In build 17.0, QA confirmed fixes for the Huntress client scene, improved weapon parenting, and animation event tweaks. Weapon sheaths appear stable across most characters, but the spear is still not sitting correctly. More importantly, unranked matches are currently broken. We're unable to search or connect. This is likely a back-end issue and has been escalated. The major win this sprint was a massive reduction in bugs across base combat flow, but the main blocker is that cosmetics still break inside trials, and online matchmaking is completely non-functional. Overall, this sprint delivered solid progress across throw reliability, root motion syncing, execution states, animation blending, and cosmetic parenting. Coming up next sprint, matchmaking fixes, knockdown stability, cosmetic rigging rework, and animation event cleanup. Thanks for watching Dark Times Debriefed. To join the conversation, head to discord.gg/darktimes. We'll see you next time, Slayers.